My question is regarding the movement of Indian vessels through the Strait of Hormuz. What's the situation like? How much is there worry for New Delhi, and has there been any conversation with the Iranian side raising the matter?
यही सवाल बहुत लोगों के पास हो तो पूछ लीजिए. ओके.
उमाशंकर सिंह, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट. इस तरह की जानकारी आ रही है कि जयशंकर और आराक्ची के बीच के बातचीत के बाद ये सहमति बनी है और मंजूरी दी है ईरान ने कि भारत तेल लेकर आने वाले जहाज़ों को परमिशन दे दी गई है. क्या इस बात में सच्चाई है आधिकारिक तौर पर, अगर आप बता पाए?
कादम्बरी शर्मा, इंडिपेंडेंट जर्नलिस्ट. इस बात की भी कुछ रिपोर्ट्स हैं कि 2 जहाज़ जो हैं उनको ईरान ने परमिशन दिया स्ट्रेट ऑफ हॉर्मुज़ से गुजरने के लिए. क्या ये सही है?
Sir, Dhairy Maheshwari, Sputnik. Sir, we saw the telephone call between EM Jaishankar and Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov yesterday. Sir, can we confirm whether energy security and possible cooperation in oil sector were on the agenda as well?
Pranay.
Sir, Pranay Upadhyay, India Today आज तक से विदेश मंत्री डॉक्टर जयशंकर और उनके ईरानियन काउंटरपार्ट के बीच में अब तक 3 बार फोन कॉल पे बातचीत हो चुकी है. आप अगर ये बता सकें कि कितने भारतीय नागरिक अभी वहां पर हैं ईरान के अंदर, उनकी सुरक्षा को लेकर क्या स्थिति है और कितने भारतीयों को वहां से अब तक निकाला जा चुका है, और भारतीय जो ऊर्जा सुरक्षा है उसको लेकर कितने शिप्स हमारे अभी तक स्ट्रैंडेड हैं. कल जो फिगर बताया गया था, क्या उसके अंदर कोई बदलाव आया है, और क्या ईरान की परमिशन की जरूरत है या हम एस्कॉर्ट कर रहे हैं, किस तरीके से ये मूवमेंट हो रहा है?
Okay, so let's go over. Okay, Rishabh.
Sir, Rishabh from Times Now. So there are reports, unconfirmed reports, that Indian students have already reached the borders of Azerbaijan and Armenia. Has there been any communication with Azerbaijan and Armenia that our students can be, escorted out from there for safe return? And if we can have the number of Indian students or Indian nationals in Iran. And sir, another question, unrelated, but Pakistan has been accusing India to playing with Taliban and all the all the attacks that have taken place at the Duran line. Pakistan has been accusing us for that.
Okay, so let me come to take care of these questions first. Siddhant and Umashankar, your questions are similar, so let me first address your part. External Affairs Minister and Foreign Minister of Iran have had 3 conversations in the recent days. The last one discussed issues pertaining to safety of shipping and India's energy security. Beyond that, it would be premature for me to say anything. पिछले कुछ दिनों में विदेश मंत्री और ईरान के विदेश मंत्री के बीच 3 बार बातचीत हुई है. अंतिम बातचीत में शिपिंग की सुरक्षा और भारत की ऊर्जा सुरक्षा से जुड़े मुद्दों पर चर्चा की गई. इसके अलावा अभी मेरे लिए कुछ भी कहना जल्दबाजी होगा. कादम्बरी, जहां तक आपका सवाल है 2 जहाज को लेके, मेरे ख्याल से 5:30 बजे एक और प्रेस ब्रीफिंग है जिसमें हमारे शिपिंग मंत्रालय के साथीगण वहां होंगे. उनके पास अगर आप ये सवाल लेके जाएं, शायद क्योंकि बहुत टेक्निकल है, मेरे पास इतना अपडेट नहीं है, वो शायद आपका जवाब सही ढंग से दे सकते हैं. प्रणय, ऑन इंडियंस इन ईरान. नाउ we've had some 9,000 Indian nationals or thereabout who were there or who are there in Iran. These 9,000 Indian nationals comprise students. They also comprise seafarers, some business people, some professionals, and some pilgrims. Of these 9,000, you would have seen that we had issued an advisory some time back. Our mission had issued our advisory. Following those advisories, which were issued on 14th of January, if I'm not wrong, and 23rd of February, several Indian nationals, mostly students, a lot of students, they left the country and reached home. We have recently, as you know, we have shifted several Indian nationals, including students and pilgrims, who were based in Tehran to other safer locations and cities in the country. We are also assisting Indian nationals who wish to travel to Azerbaijan and Armenia, and from there to take commercial flights to return home. We are assisting them with visas. We are also assisting them with land border crossings. So this is happening. We've had several Indian nationals who have approached us, and we have helped them to cross over into Azerbaijan and Armenia, and for them from there to take commercial options of flying back home. I would take this opportunity to advise all Indian nationals who are desiring to leave Iran via land borders. They should adhere to the advisory that our embassy has issued. This was issued on 9th March, and they will do the needful. Our mission in Tehran, needless to say, stays in constant touch with our community members and is offering all possible assistance to them. देखिए, ईरान में करीबन 9,000 हमारे भारतीय नागरिक हैं. उसमें से ज़्यादातर लोग वहाँ शिक्षा के लिए गए हों, चाहे वो मेडिकल शिक्षा हो या कोई अन्य शिक्षा हो. वहाँ पर नाविक लोग भी हैं, कुछ व्यवसाय जगत से जुड़े लोग हैं, कुछ वहाँ पर जो लोग पिलग्रिम्स के रूप में वहाँ पर गए हैं वो लोग हैं. इनमें से कई लोग जब 14 जनवरी को और 23 फरवरी को हम लोगों ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की थी कि आप देश छोड़ें, तो बहुत सारे लोग, खासकर स्टूडेंट्स, वहां से ईरान छोड़ के हमारे यहाँ घर वापस आ गए. उसके बाद भी जब युद्ध शुरू हुआ, ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट शुरू हुआ, तो हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे छात्रगण जो तेहरान में थे और अन्य लोग जो तेहरान में थे, पिलग्रिम्स, उनको हम लोगों ने वहाँ से अन्य शहरों में हम जाके उनको ले गए ताकि उनकी सुरक्षा पर ध्यान दिया जाए. बहुत सारे ऐसे भारतीय नागरिक हैं जो इच्छुक हैं कि वहाँ से ईरान से वापस आएं, और उसके लिए वो लोग सड़क मार्ग से आर्मीनिया और अजरबैजान जाके और इन दोनों देशों से जो कमर्शियल ऑप्शंस है हवाई जहाज का, उसको लेके वो हिंदुस्तान भारत वापस आना चाहते हैं. उनको हमारी एम्बेसी मदद कर रही है वीज़ा के साथ, और साथ ही साथ जाके वहाँ आपको बॉर्डर पार करना पड़ता है, वहाँ पे जो गतिविधियाँ होती है उनके साथ हमारी एम्बेसी उनको मदद कर रही है. और मैं साथ ही साथ ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो भी भारतीय नागरिक ईरान से वापस आना चाहता है वो हमारे एम्बेसी से वो संपर्क करें. हम लोगों ने एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है खास उन लोगों के लिए जो कि लैंड बॉर्डर से आर्मीनिया और अजरबैजान को पार करके वहाँ से वापस भारत आना चाहते हैं. मैं ये भी कहना चाहता हूँ कि तेहरान में जो हमारा मिशन है वो पूरी तरह से कार्यरत है और हमारे भारतीय समुदाय के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, उनके हित के लिए और उनकी सुरक्षा के लिए. जहाँ तक प्रणय आपने जहाज की बात कही, कल मेरे ख्याल से हमारी जो साथीगण हैं जहाज के मंत्रालय से, उन्होंने बताया था, एक अंक आपको दिया था, तो उस पर और भी खुलासा आज जब प्रेस में हमारी बातचीत होगी तो उस पर शायद आप उनसे सवाल पूछ सकते हैं. इसके बारे में लेटेस्ट अपडेट मेरे पास नहीं है. देखिए, हमने जो हमारी बातचीत हुई हमारे विदेश मंत्री और ईरान के विदेश मंत्री के बीच में, उसके बारे में आपको मैंने ब्यौरा दिया और उससे अवगत कराया, तो मैं उससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं कहना चाहता हूँ. ऋषभ, you had a question on Pakistan about the statement that they had made. So on that, I would like to say that we reject such baseless allegations. It has become second nature for Pakistan to blame India for its misdeeds. As a state sponsor of terrorism for decades, Pakistan has zero credibility when it comes to cross-border terrorism. No amount of storytelling is going to alter this reality, nor is anyone fooled by Pakistan's assumed victimhood. Here, you had asked about the conversation between Foreign Minister Lavrov and External Affairs Minister. Post the conversation which happened yesterday, if I'm not wrong, we have given details of that conversation where the two leaders shared their perspectives and assessment on the ongoing conflict, and several other issues were also discussed. You can go further. Ayushi.
So this is Ayush Shigwal from ANI. Our Prime Minister has spoken with leaders across the Gulf and Israel. Has India been able to establish any diplomatic communication at the leadership level with Iran after the strikes? And second, does India believe the current escalation could impact regional initiatives such as the IMEC, which was announced in 2023?
Archis.
Sir, Archis Mohan from Business Standard. During COVID, we had been extremely generous with our smaller neighbors in helping them out. In the context of the conflict in West Asia, have there been any requests from India's smaller neighbors, whether Bangladesh or Nepal, both in terms of evacuating their citizens or ensuring their respective energy security? Thank you.
Vasri.
India has co-sponsored a resolution at the UN that was taken up at the UNSC, in which Iran is very clearly criticized for its attacks on Gulf countries. In about 7 or 8 statements you have put out in the last 2 weeks, you have also very specifically criticized Iran for its attacks. We haven't, however, seen any comments from the Indian government on the US-Israel attacks on Iran, on the US bombing of the Iris Dana, and of the US bombing of a school which the US government has now accepted. It is done in Iran as well. I'd like to know, what is the Indian position on the actions taken by the US and Israel, arguably the first actions in this war?
Jessica.
Hi, sir. This is Jessica Taneja for Doordarshan Network. So I have 2 questions. The first, we've seen some remarks made by commentators that India took 5 days to sign the condolence book at the Iranian embassy for the late Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. Is this correct? And secondly, Pakistan has expressed some concerns regarding the India-Canada uranium deal that was signed during the time of the visit of the Prime Minister of Canada, Mark Carney. Any comments on that?
Okay. Krishna Mohan.
जो हमारा रीजनल कोऑपरेशन के तहत जिन कंट्रीज को हम ऑयल प्रोडक्ट ये करते एक्सपोर्ट करते हैं, अगर यही स्थिति रहती है तो
Okay, let's, Ayushi, first come to your question. Our Prime Minister, as you know, that he has spoken to several leaders in the Gulf after the conflict started. In these conversations, he stressed on the need for dialogue and diplomacy so that early peace can return. He also underlined the need to avoid civilian casualties, and he focused on the priority for protection of civilians. We have a large Indian community in the GCC countries, and obviously it's their security and welfare is of utmost importance. This was highlighted. We also, in several cases, condemned the violation of sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. As far as contacts with Iran is concerned, yes, our External Affairs Minister has been talking with his counterpart, and 3 conversations have happened in the recent few days. As far as the impact of the war, it is there for everybody of this conflict to see what's happening around, and obviously, it has several issues, several of our lives have been impacted by it, and not just ours, but of people and countries around the world. Purchase on energy assistance to countries in the neighborhood. First, I would come to Bangladesh. As you know, India is a major exporter of refined petroleum products, especially to our neighborhood. We have received a request from the government of Bangladesh for supply of diesel, which is being examined. Given our people-centric and development-oriented approach to relations with Bangladesh, we have been supplying diesel from Numaligarh refinery since 2007 through various modes, which includes waterways, rail, and later through the India-Bangladesh Friendship Pipeline. A sale purchase agreement was signed in October 2017 between Numaligarh Refinery and Bangladesh Petroleum Corporation for supply of high-speed diesel on mutually agreed terms. It bears mention that whilst diesel exports to Bangladesh have largely continued since 2017, India's refining capacity, our own requirements, and diesel availability will be factored in while taking decisions. In addition, I would also like to say that we have received such requests from several other countries, including Sri Lanka and Maldives, and these are being examined, taking into account our own energy requirements and availability that we have. जैसा कि आप जानते हैं, भारत रिफाइंड पेट्रोलियम उत्पादों का प्रमुख निर्यातक है, विशेष रूप से हमारे पड़ोसियों के लिए। जैसा कि मैंने अभी बताया, बांग्लादेश का हवाला दिया। हमने बांग्लादेश सरकार की डीजल आपूर्ति के लिए उनसे एक अनुरोध हमको प्राप्त हुआ है, जिस पर विचार किया जा रहा है। बांग्लादेश के साथ संबंधों के प्रति हमारे जन केंद्रित और विकास उन्मुख दृष्टिकोण को देखते हुए हम 2007 से नुमालीगढ़ रिफाइनरी से विभिन्न माध्यम मतलब कि जल मार्ग, रेल मार्ग और बाद में भारत बांग्लादेश मैत्री पाइपलाइन जो बनाया गया, उसके माध्यम से डीजल की आपूर्ति उनके लिए कर रहे हैं। अक्टूबर 2017 में नुमालीगढ़ रिफाइनरी और बांग्लादेश पेट्रोलियम कॉर्पोरेशन के बीच एक पारस्परिक रूप से सहमत शर्तों पर हाई स्पीड डीजल की आपूर्ति के लिए एक सेल परचेज एग्रीमेंट, बिक्री खरीद समझौते पर हस्ताक्षर किए गए थे। यह उल्लेखनीय है कि हालांकि 2007 से बांग्लादेश को डीजल का निर्यात काफी हद तक जारी रहा है, लेकिन निर्णय लेते समय भारत की रिफाइनरी कैपेसिटी, हमारी अपनी आवश्यकता और डीजल की उपलब्धता को ध्यान में रखा जाएगा। इसके अलावे हम लोगों को हमारे पड़ोस के देशों से और कई एक देशों से, वो जिसमें कि श्रीलंका भी शामिल है और मालदीव भी शामिल है, उनसे एक रिक्वेस्ट आया है और हम लोग उस पर उसको एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं और ये देखते हुए कि हमारी अपनी खुद का कितना रिक्वायरमेंट है और साथ ही साथ किस प्रकार की अवेलेबिलिटी इन चीज़ों की है हमारे पास। Firstly, yes, we have co-sponsored the GCC led resolution at the UN Security Council. We have 135 countries who have co-sponsored this particular resolution. The resolution reflects several of our positions. As you know, that we have a large diaspora in the GCC countries, and their well-being and welfare is of utmost importance. The Gulf is also very important for our energy security needs. As far as the other aspects of your questions are concerned, we have issued statements dated 28th February, on 3rd March, and thereafter External Affairs Minister also made a suo motu statement in the Parliament where he's dealt with all issues that some of the issues that you referred to. As far as the question of the school children you talked about is concerned, as I've said, we have issued several statements on the ongoing conflict. We have underlined the need for prioritizing the safety of all civilians. We regret the precious lives lost, and express our grief in that regard. Jessica, coming to your question on the condolence book signing, let me clarify the issue for you and for everybody here. As you are aware, Foreign Secretary signed the condolence book at the Iranian embassy on behalf of the Government of India. He did so on 5th March itself, which was the first day of the opening of the book. It would do well for commentators to first update themselves on important matters before they choose to speak in public. Such ill-informed comments are best avoided. Your other question was again about India-Canada deal, on which some statement has been made. Let me say, we reject the statement made by Pakistan on the matter. India's credentials regarding non-proliferation are impeccable and well recognized by the global community. A country with a well-documented history of clandestine nuclear proliferation can hardly preach the virtues of export controls and proliferation risks. Such ludicrous statements are nothing more than an attempt by Pakistan to distract from its own abysmal record. कृष्ण मोहन, जैसा कि मैंने बताया था आपको कि कई सारे देशों से हमको उनकी तरफ से रिक्वेस्ट आया है और उस रिक्वेस्ट को हम लोग अभी उसको एग्जामिन कर रहे हैं और एग्जामिन करने के दरमियान में हम ये देख रहे हैं कि इसकी कितनी आपूर्ति है और कितनी अवेलेबिलिटी है हमारे पास में और हमारी अपनी खुद की कितनी हमारी ज़रूरत है. Rajesh.
Hello sir, I'm Rajesh Roy from Bloomberg. I know you are not expanding on the shipping part on Iran, but as you said, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar in his last conversation with his Iranian counterpart discussed security of shipping and energy security. Are we looking for safe passage of all 24 ships in the west of Hormuz, or to start with, say, oil tankers or all cargoes inbound for India? Anything on that?
Okay. Smita.
Hi sir, this is Sumita from ET Now. Just wanted to get your reaction on India easing Press Note 3 related restrictions for countries that share land border with India. Thank you.
Abhishek.
Sir, this is Abhimanyu Sharma from CNBC.
आया कोच्चिन बंदरगाह में उन्होंने लंगर डाला और उनके जो क्रू के सदस्य हैं वो अभी हमारे भारतीय नौसेना के परिसर में हैं और इस मुद्दे पर और जानकारी जो भी नए इस पे जो डेवलपमेंट होते हैं उससे हम आपको अवगत कराते रहेंगे. Manas, now your question, see, we have been issuing regular statements. The statement made by the External Affairs Minister in the Parliament is comprehensive. He has given an account of how we have actively, all our embassies in the region have reached out to the community. They have issued advisories. They're helping our people, our tourists who are stranded there, several other Indian nationals, and helping them to come back to India. A large number of them have come back. We also have commercial flight options available from several destinations, and those are being utilized for by our nationals to come back. We've also, in the Ministry of External Affairs, we have set up a special control room where we get queries and emails from our nationals as to how we can help them, and we are doing our best to keep to help our Indian nationals and community in the GCC countries and elsewhere. On your second question, we have seen some reports, what you referred. We are closely following the developments in the ongoing conflict. We will take appropriate measures as per our assessment. Okay. Raghavendra.
Yeah, this is Raghavendra Verma from German television ZDF. So my question is regarding the flight disruptions in light of the Gulf route, which is now blocked for the Indian Airlines. The Pakistan way becomes crucial. Has there been any talk with Pakistan during for the reciprocal opening of the airbase?
Agni.
So this is Agni from ABP. It's been reported that Bangladeshi military intelligence chief have had a series of meetings in New Delhi. Can you please elaborate on that?
Yeah.
Seema Guha from Outlook magazine. The former NSA, Shiv Shankar Menon, has been very critical of the government not expressing proper condolences for the killing of the Iranian supreme leader. And he said that at least a minister could have gone. What do you have to say to that?
Okay. Sachin?
Hi, Sachin from the Times of India. Just as a follow-up to one of the previous questions, why is it that we have not been able to establish any sort of contact with the Iranian president till now? The External Affairs Minister, when he spoke in Parliament, he said that efforts are underway, but these have not proved successful in the current circumstances. But yesterday, we saw that the Iranian president spoke to the Pakistani Prime Minister, basically talking about the need to probe the root causes of the Israel-US war on Iran. So what is it that is preventing a...
So an MEA press conference is underway, taking all questions on the developments as far as West Asia is concerned. Moving on.